up the breakers.
Greetings, responders. In today's video, we're going to go over the lore of the entirety of Berks County, also known as Powerplant. The first topic we'll be going over is an elaboration on last video. There were some misconceptions with the lore and interpretation, so I'm going to clarify. From discussions with the developers, it appears that I am the one that was the conspiracy theorist. The conspiracy board below was literally just that, a conspiracy board. What I had learned from the developer was that this guy's family had died, and this pushed him over the edge. He became well enthralled with the idea of the Jim Brandy stay as you are, where residents would actively avoid being evacuated by Hera and other responder forces. This eventually led to the point where he despised Hera so much that upon being asked to evacuate by a team of NIDC researchers and Hera, he later would brutally kill them in his basement by the corpse. So, the likelihood of what happened to the character is unknown, but it's most likely that he either escaped and is a danger, or is dead. If we want to understand the events of the game, we need to understand that we, the player, play Berks County on September the 20th. We also need to understand that the Ranger Tower is actually a very important POI on the map, probably the most important one, as it has a working calendar that gives us a step-by-step, day-by-day guide to what happened and how it happened. What personally appears to have happened to our unknown ranger is that during the outbreak they got trapped inside, and using a barricade they were able to hold off for a bit. They seem to have spent much time up in the tower by the trash scattered all around and by the entries on the calendar, but sadly it appears that one of the zombies, or a few of them, are able to get over, biting her, then in her last few moments of sane thought, killing herself before she could turn as the player arrives. Though she was unable to speak to our team or interact with us, she did do a lot of telling through her environment. The first of these being a possible patient zero. In this report, it talks about how a person in a red shirt wanders around harassing both the tower and people at the campsite, before disappearing and then not being seen again. No one has interacted with this person, and the rangers are confused at why this person is out at such late hours, stalking and almost looking to be wandering around aimlessly during the nighttime. I personally believe that the red-shirted individual was either a Jim Brandy member or was a random infected that was ahead of the horde before the actual outbreak occurred in Berks County, most likely attacking local hikers and campers along the way, as we could tell from the campsites abandoned long ago. So the first few guesstimates to make are that the other two rangers are the people referred to on the calendar as Kyle and Cena, two of the other rangers in the tower. Kyle first goes missing, most likely going to check on campers, and then later on the day 11, the ranger station where Cena was placed goes quiet. After that, the ranger attempts to leave, but their truck is stalled and cannot start. Then the POI known as radio station stops doing its broadcasts, obviously overrun. Between the 15th and the 16th, the radio tower then is hit by a horde, thus trapping our ranger inside of the tower. From across her great tower, she can see the fires starting at the sawmill. Over time, she starts to run out of supplies, as she gets more and more hopeless from her notations on the board. Finally, her simple barricade cannot hold, and a few infected get inside. In the scuffle, well, we all know what happens from there. Ranger Station, home of our three rangers we spoke of earlier, it has several interesting features about it. The several offices on the top floor make me believe that these were either belonging to Cena, Ranger, or Kyle. If you listen in, you can actually hear a full radio broadcast, as it appears that when radio station, or before radio station went down, they were doing their best too to coordinate what they could for the outbreak effort. Here's that clip now.
Loud and clear.
815, you're coming through. Radios are working again. Is that you, Anderson? It's me. Thank God. And thank you. Whoever got the power back on at the station. What's your position? Over. Coming up on the public museum. I've got contacts. I'm going 10-7. I'll get back at you. Roger. Make sure you do. Lieutenant Calloway from Ladder 23. Do you read me? Ranger 108 here. Solid copy, Calloway. Over. My team and a group from Ladder 8 have made our way to Kenworth Student Center. We've got a large group of students inside who have successfully barricaded themselves. We're attempting to lend assistance. Over. Roger that, Calloway. That is some good work. My unit isn't far from you. We're south on New Holland Road. We can be there in 10 minutes. Over. Lieutenant Samersand here. Calloway is checking in with Engine 16. We appreciate any assist you can give us. We sure do have our hands full. Over. Sure, happy to help however we can. This is what we do now. Over out. McDougal from Ladder 15 here. Anybody got a vantage on the Super C-Mart on the corner of New Holland and High? Jefferson for Engine 16. Not yet, but I can shortly. We're clearing and ascending an apartment building in Berks County-No. When we get to the roof, I can get eyes on it for you. Much appreciated, Engine 16. We're at a lower elevation in our position here and don't want to get caught with our pants down. Know what I mean? Yeah, I hear you, Ladder 15. I'm a little too familiar with that feeling now. We're 1-4 from the roof, so just hold tight for a bit longer. Hey, this is Ranger 2921. I don't mean to interrupt here, but we're actually on New Holland right now. If you can wait a minute, I'll let you know what's going on up there. Over. Ranger, if it isn't putting you at risk, that would be a huge help. Over. That's no problem. We're moving in that direction anyway. Maybe we'll bump into each other. Over. Now, if you want to have a party, you can't forget to invite your friends from Engine 16 and have one hell of a rack of ribs. Over. If we make it through this, all of us will have the biggest, wildest barbecue Berks County has ever seen. I promise you that. Over. Situation. Do you read? Read you. Confirmed. It's not looking good at the museum. I've got a visual on civilians trapped inside, but it's sounding like we've got some hostile contacts in there with them. Cadavroids? Oh yeah. Shit. I'm 1076. I'm a few blocks out. Let's RV. Just sit tight if you can. Don't get yourself in trouble. Anderson. Anderson? Anderson. Anderson, come back. Think I'm gonna need help with this. What's your ETA? I'm right to you now. Give me 5. Roger, just be careful on the road there. There's a pileup. Could be anything lurking between the cars. 10-4. I got eyes on that from here. You hear that screaming too? That's a negative. Shit. Go 10-3. We've secured a perimeter around the student center and we have a unit attempting entry. That's great to hear, Ladder 23. Make sure those kids get out safe. Yeah, be advised, we've reached. Civilians inside are looking unharmed. Yeah, mostly unarmed. Ladder 23, be sure to check over every civilian for bite marks or fresh wounds. Over. Yeah, already underway. Doing what we can. Seems clean so far. Let's hope it stays that way. There's been too much death already. Over. No, repeat. You need to check them all. Check them thoroughly. You don't want to miss a bite mark. Copy 815. 1033. We've got a wounded student who is, he's having a seizure. We need a medic. Ladder 23, you can't take any chances. Get out of there or eliminate the threat. I repeat, eliminate the threat. Over. Mark, stay status? How copy? Over. Threat eliminated. We're moving. Over. Affirmative. We'll meet you outside. Over and out. Got a lot of 10-11s here. What? You got dogs? Negative. Sorry, that's 1096. Got eyes on a 1096. 10-4. Where are we seeing dogs? You can disregard that, Engine 16. Over. This is Ranger 2921. They're coming up on us. We got a lot of them here. Doing our best to keep them at bay, but we're making too much noise and it's bringing the whole neighborhood out. How many? Looking like the world's worst block party. We got a ton of... Anderson! Damn it. Circling back to you, 2921. I got to the museum, but, no sign of Anderson. Copy. Keep searching. You check inside? I'm on it. Over. Any word from the group at the museum? Over. Negative. We got a team approaching, but no word yet. Over. Ranger 815 here. I've entered the museum through the basement emergency exit. No sign of Anderson yet, but I'm moving as fast as I can. I heard gunshots earlier, but it was a Reading PD unit, and I was too late to help them. I just hope I can get to Joe in time. Over. Ladder 23 here. We're moving northbound now, and we'll try to help if we can. Over. Copy that. Break! We made contact with a group of civilians and made it to the roof of the museum, but the situation is bad. We're surrounded. There's cadavers on all sides. Requesting assistance for anyone nearby. Over. Anderson, I'm in the building, clearing a path from the basement emergency exit. If we can meet up, I can lead you out. Over. 815, Anderson, be advised. We're seeing if we can bring the truck to the west side and secure ladders to the roof. Stand by. Anderson, 815, what's your status? Ladder 23, come in. We've secured the civilians and your guy Anderson, but... 815, Teddy, he didn't make it. He was trying to clear an exit from below while the firefighters got us from the roof. And he down. God damn it! Get to safety, Anderson. Status. Standing by. Over. Hard copy. Over. I'm investigating a possible 1032. Keep us posted. Disregard. Seems to have got quiet. What's your 1077? I'm gonna need a minute. Copy. Over. 10101? Clear. Oh, cleared. Anybody outside? Shit, we're facing hostiles exposing our primary and secondary positions. Any units in the area, we are requesting immediate assistance. Engaged. Unit 22, we're 100 yards from your position. West-northwest closing. Repeat, closing west-northwest on your position. Over. Heavy engagement on our east flank. Pressure increasing on our positions. We need reinforcement. Over. Copy that, Unit 22. We are circling around to your east flank to render immediate assistance. Prepare for engagement. Over. Bobcat 6-3, going weapons free. Over. Hard copy. All units, weapons free. I repeat, weapons free. Over. Be advised, we are moving to relocate civilians out of the population area. Over. Okay, copy. Can you see the mass crowd moving north from your position? Over. Can you confirm their last location on the grid? We have no sight on them from our position. Over. Affirmative, standby. We've got grid Charlie 16. Lead scratch, grid Charlie 17. Over. Copy that. We're directing our convoy through Charlie 15 to Bravo 22. Units 3 and 6 move to Overwatch. Over. quickly. Over. Double time hustle. Over and out.
Alright, now for radio station. Radio station has a bunch of its own interesting things scattered about as well. Like other POIs, it looks like the team is spending a good amount of time there, and above that as well, there is also several radio broadcasts that actually originate from a radio station. Here, have a listen.
The following message is transmitted by the Civil Recovery Corps at the request of the Pennsylvania State Police. High numbers of individuals afflicted with neurotropic Pleistocene virus are currently exhibiting extreme aggressive behavior in your area. This event poses significant risk to public order and to personal health and safety. Afflicted persons are extremely dangerous. Avoid all contact with afflicted persons or suspected afflicted persons. Residents are urged to follow posted evacuation guidelines immediately. If unable to travel, residents are advised to shelter in place until further notice. Do not engage afflicted persons. If forced to confront an afflicted person, the National Guard's recommended course of action to overcome the assailant is to remove the head or destroy the brain. This warning is in effect for the following counties: Adams County, Allegheny County, Armstrong County, Beaver County, Bedford County, Berks County, Blair County, Bradford County, Bucks County, Butler County, Cambria County, Cameron County, Carbon County, Center County, Chester County, Clarion County, Clearfield County, Clinton County, Columbia County, Crawford County, Cumberland County, Dauphin County. The following message is transmitted by the Civil Recovery Corps at the request of the Pennsylvania State Police. High numbers of individuals afflicted with neurotropic Pleistocene virus are currently exhibiting extreme aggressive behavior in your area. This event poses significant risk to public order and to personal health and safety. Afflicted persons are extremely dangerous. Avoid all contact with afflicted persons or suspected afflicted persons. Residents are urged to follow posted evacuation guidelines immediately. If unable to travel, residents are advised to shelter in place until further notice. Do not engage afflicted persons. If forced to confront an afflicted person, the National Guard's recommended course of action to overcome the assailant is to remove the head or destroy the brain. This warning is in effect for the following counties: Adams County, Allegheny County, Armstrong County, Beaver County, Bedford County, Berks County, Blair County, Bradford County, Bucks County, Butler County, Cambria County, Cameron County, Carbon County, Center County, Chester County, Clarion County, Clearfield County, Clinton County, Columbia County, Crawford County, Cumberland County, Dauphin County, Delaware County, Elk County, Erie County, Fayette County, Forest County, Franklin County, Fulton County, Greene County, Huntingdon County, Indiana County, Jefferson County, Juniata County, Lackawanna County, Lancaster County, Lawrence County, Lebanon County, Lehigh County, Luzerne County, Lycoming County, McKean County, Mercer County, Mifflin County, Monroe County, Montgomery County, Montour County, Northampton County, Northumberland County, Perry County, Philadelphia County, Pike County, Potter County, Schuylkill County, Snyder County, Somerset County, Sullivan County, Susquehanna County, Tioga County, Union County, Venango County, Warren County, Washington County, Wayne County, Westmoreland County, Wyoming County, York County. This message repeats.
Next up is church. The POI of church shows us many things about the world. Not only was it used as a evacuation and grave site, but it shows that the symptoms of the virus can also vary, including psychosis. The recorded message from the priest shows that there is a level of psychosis there. Based off of the way he's ranting, not only is it a reference to the actual Romero movies, but it is also a reference to how, based off the way he's speaking and how we experience infection in-game, it has a level of psychosis given to the player. Basically, the virus using the player's mind against them when they are turning. And that can cause delusions, confusion, and other slurred speech that we hear in-game, which is why this is a great example of how it can alter your perception and judgment by being infected.
You'll excuse me if today's sermon is a little different, but today is not a normal Sunday. I wanted to tell you all where we're at, why we're here. To me, the faith and the facts, they match up. They line up perfectly. Everything that's happening, it's like in Revelation. Do we not have all 4 horsemen on the planet right now? Do we not have war, conquest, famine, and death stalking our world? We were warned. We were told about all of this, and we didn't do enough to fight it. Revelation. As you know, it's the Bible's last book. And these here are the last days of this earth. We're about to close the last chapter on humanity. And we were told, Peter 5:8, I remember it goes, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Is that not what's happening here, my people? It's plain to see to me. Is that not what's happening right outside these doors? In Pittsburgh, in New York, all across our great nation, and beyond. I know now this is a punishment for us, for the sick, wicked way of the world today. The sin that we're forced to wallow in each day. The perversion of this world. This will be my last sermon. I apologize, but I needed to get up here one last time to tell you all that what's happening out there now, I believe that it's a rapture of sorts, but not the one that's taking all the faithful up to heaven. No, heaven is, they don't want us. Okay, they don't want us anymore. Why would they? We failed in our duty to God. We're so far off course. We're too far gone. So we have to beg. We have to pray for forgiveness, my children. Because it seems to me, this event, this plague, it's being sent as a punishment. It's not a rapture taking us to heaven, no. It's to take folks down to the other place. But our country, our world, it's produced so much evil, so much wickedness, and so many sinners that the other place, hell, it's full. There's no more room in hell. So the dead walk among
Now for the lore of the checkpoint. The checkpoint is an interesting location. It seems to have been a repurposed toll booth that was turned into a checkpoint to help slow the infection. Sand barriers and sandbags are placed around as many places as possible to limit the traffic, and the upper highway has been completely shut down. This was a place that was doing its best to keep them inside versus letting people out, and it was the main key reason why many people didn't get out of Berks County in time. A thing to note about this POI is that inside the closet where the fuses are located, there will always be a hag spawned in there. And at first I wondered why this happened, but then I realized something. There might be a bit of partial storytelling in the enemy's decision to be placed there. There is a likelihood that this hag was somebody that was secretly infected and turned inside of that closeted maintenance area. Well, if you follow the ventilation actually enters into the main chamber of the safe zone and the checkpoint center itself. My personal theory is that due to the hags requiring vapor to infect people, the hag in that room eventually built up enough vapor to infect other members of the staff inside of the safe room directly. And from there, along with most likely infected moving in from the local town, overran the checkpoint from both inside and outside, even well after the defenses of the safe zone were activated to protect the staff working there. Another key thing to note as well is that the entranceway and the bridges are completely blown up and on fire. Something exploded here, and my personal belief behind that is that when the National Guard was getting overrun, to prevent both infected and people from continuing further, they decided to detonate explosives that they had placed on the bridge to destroy the way in and out from both survivors and infected persons. Along with that as well, there is a small field hospital to the side,
where some form of screening process most likely would have occurred.
Now for the field hospital. The first thing we'll see is that outside there is a massive sign for the secure lock company. The personalized storage of the building was repurposed in the small field hospital, and even some of the features like being able to lock all the doors at once and using the screen doors, they were able to make a primitive security system of sorts to help them contain patients. However, their improvised system seems to have failed. On several levels of the base, you can see that some doors didn't fully shut or were pried open very easily, and in some instances, when they were trying to quarantine infected persons, their security forces were even trapped inside, cutting away from resources they could have used to help defend themselves. On the outside, we could see a variety of different ambulances, but also, quite interestingly enough, we find zombies lacking their garments. At first, this doesn't seem to make sense, but then you realize something. This is a part of Hera protocol. We heard about this on the radio earlier. They believe in thorough searching, so it wouldn't be out of the question to think that they would be doing strip searches. And it sadly appears that some of the people involved in those strip searches just weren't fast enough to get away when an outbreak occurred at the field hospital. On the inside of the hospital, we can also see a bunch of interesting things. Biohazardous materials scattered all over the place, as well as a decapitated head within inside the central intel room. This is what's called a decapitation, and it is normally used inside of testing on animals for rabies. I believe Hera and the NIDC here were trying to collect samples of the virus, and by doing so, they were taking samples from this head to be able to use for study. And that is what we are uploading onto the drive when we do the activation.
Alright guys, it's time for the speed round of all the POIs that have very abysmal lore behind them. Let's begin. It's time for the speed run of all the lore in No More Room in Hell 2 and all the POIs that nobody cares about. Barn is tied to this, so these two are the same. So we go down here. Church is its own POI, very useful. All these other things add absolutely nothing to the story whatsoever. Radio tower, we already did that. This has one Bible verse in it. That's it. This is just a spawn radius. This up here, all spawn radius. This here has partial things about campfires and people going missing. And also some flyers there that don't really add much. Mineshaft, spawn zone, literally a hole in the ground. Some cars of people trying to escape. Train yard. This used to be a safe haven area, but then they ran over something and crashed and then spilled a bunch of gas there that killed everybody. Bar. It used to be a little safe haven for survivors made by the community. but then it got overrun. Also, it played trash music, so it burned. Worksite and warehouses. They don't really do anything. They're just spawn radiuses. No lore. Icky ooh. Train yard. Train yard is connected to this thing. This thing happened because of this thing. And then there's also like a big old crash up here too, because I guess they don't know how to drive. And sluice gate. Down here, sluice gate is, this place is only, you know, powered by young people, I guess, because they're all fresh, but, and they run track marathons, but, they turned off the water, like that one-hit game, Where's My Water, on mobile. Yeah, like that. So for Sawmill, this, little thing caught on fire, okay, and then, like, the power went out, and then it went, and then the firefighters came, and they died.